this video, we're going to create our own very basic and simple Streamlit app. So as you can see, I have a folder in here named basic. You can rename this folder to whatever you like, and I've saved it on my desktop. I'm going to open this folder and I've saved a file called Streamlit. You can rename this to anything you want. For example, if I wanted to be named as Marcus, that's my name, marcus.py. I can just click on this. As you can see, it will automatically open over here. So to create a basic Streamlit app, we want to first import Streamlit. Click install Streamlit as st. Click install Streamlit as st, and then simply write st.header. When we write the term st.header, it just basically means that we are making a header. Simple. So we can name this header as whatever we want. Test page, for example, test page. And we're going to write a small description, st.info. It's going to be done, or st.write. When you write st.write, it just basically shows that you want to show the computer that you want to write something. So st.write, this is a small page that I have created. We can file, save. We're going to save this. Let's file and save it. All right, perfect. Next, we want to open our command prompt and give our file directory. So our file directory, you can just get it from the folder and just hover over this one over here. Click it, Control C, and then over here you write cd and then this. So as you can see, we're now in our file directory, and from here we can run the Streamlit command. So Streamlit run, and whatever your app name is. In my case, it's marcus.py. So we can run that. As you can see, we've gotten two links. Both links will take you to the same page, but we just open that. Oh, we got an error. All right, I've just made a small mistake. It should actually be import Streamlit as st. It's a short form for it. We are just saving it as a short form. Now, instead of repeating this command prompt step, if you make a change to your code, you can just save this code, go back to your Streamlit app, click here and click rerun. Now, as you can see, we created a very, very simple page. It just says test page and a small writing below it. For example, if I want to create an image, now this would be very simple. Like before, we just use st because st is a variable that we have saved before. So st.image, simple as that. And you can give the image. For example, I have in my desktop, I have this avatar image right over here. I'm going to take this avatar image and put it in my basics folder. So whatever folder you would like, it always needs to be in the folder where your code is saved. So we just put that avatar.jpg and we write avatar.jpg. So we give the image's name. File, once again, file, save all, and rerun. So as you can see, we have added an image. So we can do multiple things with this. We can create success bars. So st.success and whatever thing you want. So if I want error free, so this will show a green bar over here. If you click rerun, as you can see, it's a success bar. So it just shows error free in a green font and a green highlight. Similarly for this, there's also st.error. Error. You just write that, Control C, and as you can see, it gives us the same thing as the error free one, but in a different form, in a different color. You can even write st.info, which does the same thing as the other two, but in a blue highlight. So st.info, error information. We just want to do that. As you can see, it's the same thing as the other two, but in a blue font. We also have the st.inform, sorry, not inform, st. We also have the st.warning. Like the other two, it gives us a little warning in a yellow highlightation. So error warning. And we can just quickly save this and rerun. As you can see, we have error warning. Now, something else that you can add to your small tiny little app is a checkbox. A checkbox returns a Boolean value. When the checkbox is checked, it returns a true value or it returns a false value. Now, to do this, you can simply write if st.checkbox checks whether it is a checkbox, and you can write something, st.checkbox, yes or no, just a simple question. You can put a colon, enter, and from the enter, you can write anything you like. So st.write, or you could even write st.text, which does the same thing, but just in case. Showing a checkbox. Then we can save this. We can go back to our Opera browser or any browser that you're using and rerun. And as you can see, we have a small little checkbox that we can check. So when we click this checkbox, it writes right over here, showing a checkbox. Very simple and very easy to use. Now another thing you could add is a radio button. So in our new line, we're just going to write status equals to st.radio, radio, brackets, and write whatever you choose to write. So select gender. Now this is all over there. We can end this over here, write a comma, and in this we can write male or female. So basically what this is, we're storing this function in a variable called status, and it's a radio button. So st.radio select gender. So the question is which gender you are, and in these brackets over here, it's the options. So now we're going to write an if statement which checks if the status is equal to male, it can show your gender is male, or if the status is equal to female, it can write you are female. So if status equals to male, st.success, or you could even write st.write, or any format you would, or anything you want to display actually. So st.success male. This shows that if this status over here is equal to a male, it will write st.success male. Else, we're going to write an else statement over here. Else, so anything other than male, it would write st.success female. Simple, very simple and easy to use. Now, for the results, we can quickly run this again. And as you can see, we have a checkbox over here and even a radio button. So we have the select gender, which is the question or whatever you may call it, and the two buttons that you may choose from. If we choose male, it uses an if statement to write st.success male, else it writes female. Now the next thing that we would like to add to our app is a select box. So we can just write hobby, which is another variable that you can change to whatever you like. Hobby equals to st.selectBox. Select box, and in this we're going to write hobbies, and then comma. Oops, yeah, I forgot my comma. Hobbies, comma, and remember to end the quotations, comma. After that, we're going to use a square bracket for a list, and in these we're going to write our hobbies. So dancing, I like coding, so I'm going to write coding, and I even like reading, and especially, oops, I messed up this over here. Yeah, there we go. And I even like playing the guitar, so guitar. And we're now going to write after this st.write. You can write over here your hobby is, and hobby. Oops, hobby. So in this, what we're trying to do is we're defining a variable called hobby, and in this hobby we're writing different hobbies such as dancing, coding, reading, and guitar. You can add or remove as many hobbies as you like, or you could even change the question. After that, we're writing st.write your hobby is, and then the hobby itself. So this is the main select box part, and this is the part where it shows which hobby or which option you have chosen. So if we just go over here and rerun this, oh, I forgot to save this. So I'll save this, go back here, click rerun. As you can see, it's shown the question hobby and given a select box, a multi-select box. So we can choose any one of these. And it shows that your hobby is, and whichever hobby you have chosen. Now another thing that is quite similar to this is a multi-select box. So to create a multi-select box, you can simply have the same thing, but I'm going to change a few things. So I'm going to write whichever variable I would like. For example, I'm going to keep it the same thing. I'm just going to keep it to a different variable. Hobbies equal to st.multi-select. So as you can see over here in our previous code, we just wrote select box, but over here there's a change. We're going to write multi-select. So this shows at the machine that we want to create a multi-select box and not a normal one. So like the old format, we're just going to write this. Oops, hobbies. And we're going to create a list in this where we're going to keep the same things. So dancing, coding, reading, and and guitar. And we're going to save this. Now after that, we're just going to go back here and follow the same step of rerunning. So over here we have our new multi-select box. So we can choose an option. As you can see, as soon as we choose the option, it automatically deletes it from this list that we created. So for example, I like dancing. I'm going to click on it. And when I click on the same box again, you see that dancing is no longer in the list, and while the others are, giving you an option to choose another one. While in the other code, you could choose only one. And to just simply remove these from your options, you can just click the X and the X. As you can see, it's now clear again. Now, as you can see, most of this code is really easy, especially the one I'm going to show you now. It's to create a button. So we can just write st.button and whatever we want to display on the button. So for example, we want to show click me, all right? And in that, we're just going to write if st.button about, oops, we need this about, we're just going to display. So if this button is clicked, what will be shown? So if st.button, we're going to use an if statement here, st.info, or you could write st.text, st.write, anything you like. st.info, welcome to the channel. Simple. And we're just going to run this. So I'm going to save this and I'm going to open my browser and click rerun. As you can see, we have a button over here. When we click the button, can you see what's happening? There's an about button as well. So this click me button, as we created first, our first button that we created, which is this one over here, st.button click me, is just a simple button with no function. But the other button that we created, which is the st.about button, as you can see over here, we created a button, st.button, and we gave it about. When we click it, it can actually have a function because it has an if statement connected to it. Have you ever wondered how forms have those text input labels? Well, here's how you can do it on Streamlit. So first off, we're going to give a variable to just, now our basic goal over here is to just input a name. So we're going to call this variable name and st.text underscore input. So this just gives the user an option to input any text. And we're going to give the question right over here. Enter your first name. All right. And then just click type here. Perfect. And over here, we're going to use one of those buttons that we created last time. Like the about button, we're going to create a button a submit button. So we're going to use the same syntax, st.button, then brackets, and submit. Simple. And results equals to name.title. And we're also going to write st.success and the name. So we're going to save this. We're going to open our Opera browser or whichever browser you're using, rerun, and as you can see here, we have the question as enter your first name. We can type over here Marcus and submit. And as you can see, when we click the button submit, it generates our name. Now, as you can see, can you see here, type here? Now this is what's coming inside. So if we just refresh this page, I will show you what I mean. As you can see here, type here. It's coming over here. So you can delete this line if you like, or you can even replace it. Remember, all this code is for what I want to do. You can change the variables, you can change even the purpose of creating it. Now our final thing that we would like to add to our app is a slider. So we're gonna create a variable called level and st.slider, as simple as that, and select the level. I'll explain what all this is in just a minute after running our code. Now after that, we're gonna write st.text selected And in selected, oops, we're gonna have some curly brackets, and then dot format level. And I forgot all about this, so we're gonna end it there, right over there. We need that there. Okay, after that we're just gonna save this. We're gonna open our Opera browser and rerun. As you can see here, we have a simple slider. So now going back to the level, so this is just the name of it, select the level. And this range over here, you can change this range to anything you want. So for example, if I have it as 10 and I rerun the code, as you can see that the slider level has changed from 1 all the way to 10. Thank you. Thank you, and this is the end of it. You have now successfully created a very simple and basic app, and you have learned most of the features. Now, to recap, we have created a header, we have created some text, we can display an image, a success bar, an error bar, an information bar, and even a warning. We have created buttons and checkboxes, a radio button, even different multi-select boxes, and even an enter your name slider, etc. Thank you. This is it.